Yeah, so from reading your bio, I remember there being a passage in there about you talking about a dream that you had where Coltrane, visited you in a dream, and that kind of set off some things in your, going forward with your karma.
Yeah, well, I wasn't sure what it was setting off.
Mm-hmm.
I was shocked by it.
Mm-hmm.
It was like shocking around 1967, in that range. 68, I was in the Army band. 67 was a transitional place. I was still in what is called the combat arms, not in the special services relative to, the musical services. But still, the combat arms means, the guys are training for combat. And it's all about that. People would go overseas and maybe towed a rifle or whatever. And so it was shocking. I was fasting at the time, and I had this vision. But what I'm going to say is, pay attention to some of this, because you never know what its time relevance is. It could be past, right? And you're forced, because of the imagery in the dream, to refer to your earlier life or former life. You don't know for sure. Could be. Or the present. And in this case, in my case, specifically future. So this was a clairvoyant dream that mapped out my future. And Coltrane showed up. I had never seen him. I didn't know him, but I was left with this vivid impression of him, his person, his force, his power, and his music. And it was direct. He was on the stage and he played directly to me, and I said, I don't understand this music. What am I doing here? And it was like out, beautiful music. I thought it was heavenly, but I said, it can't be heavenly. I've heard heavenly music, wasn't I? It wasn't the kind of heavenly music I was used to, which I'd have to say is infinitely simpler and more sweet, right? As my programming would have it at that point in my life, which is pretty young. I'm 21 or something like that years of age. And but then what happened after, that was a prelude. I didn't know it all at that moment. I was like shocked at what it was. But that led me to the Army Band. There was a seed that was directly leading me to the Army Band shortly thereafter. All these coincidences happened. Boom, I'm in the Army Band with people that knew Coltrane from Washington, D.C. This is in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, where I met Ray Codrington, a trumpet player, band and director, and performing artist. And he had a band of children who are handicapped. He had 2 orchestras he was directing of children, handicapped children. I was shocked by this. This guy is amazing, fantastic. Wow, it's like a saint. But he knew Eric Dolphy, he knew these cats. And then one thing led to another, and then I had a mishap with Esdras Luden, and we sat at his trailer after we crisscrossed in Fayetteville, North Carolina, with our guitar cases coming from opposite directions. And he said, I know you don't have a... And I've talked to him recently, or I was in communication with him recently, a couple of months ago. He said, I know you don't have a machine gun in there. Let's go to my trailer and exchange whatever we got, do a little playing. And we did that, right? And then a long story short, and he's, after he heard me attempting to play the little bit I couldn't play on the guitar, he said, yeah, you're a beginner, he said, but I feel your soul in your music. He said, I could feel you have the soulfulness, meaningfulness. And I said, I didn't know what to make of it. He said, how would you like to be in the Army band? And I didn't pay attention to him. I said, I couldn't conceive of that. And he says, how would you like to be in the Army band? And I said, why are you asking me that? He said, well, I'm the commander. And I think you should be in the Army band. And to make the story even shorter, he said, yeah, report to First Sergeant Tyson and tell him you had your audition, and, you know, it's as easy as that. Here I am, a musician, because of that dream and because of the Army band, which made me a musician. Told me I was a player when I had no idea of it. I had no conception of being a musician except a drummer, you know, from the culture of the Afro-Rican society I was born into. So these things that happen, pay attention to your dreams. There may be more in a dream than you know. And that was so vivid in my case. There's no way I could forget that dream. No way. Nor should I need to forget it. It's like a miraculous breakthrough for me. And so people respect your dreams. Talk about your dreams as they do in native cultures. It's good to share them. Maybe somebody have insight for you or something. Maybe I'll ring a bell for someone who has a dream and say, well, listen, we're related in dreams. Could be. We don't know. So thanks for the question.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
Here.